Dear huggers, please, please, please remember that just because you identify as a hugger, that not everybody around you is a hugger too. If someone doesn't want to hug you because they generally don't really enjoy being touched, perhaps they're meeting you for the first time, they don't know you, they don't know if they can trust you, they don't know if they like you. Please don't take this personally, but do understand that people are different, and a lot of people don't want to be hugged by people who they don't know really well. And we must respect that. This has to do with body autonomy, with consent, and you don't want to be intrusive. You don't want to violate someone's body autonomy just because you identify as a hugger. And I get it. It's coming from a good place. You have good intentions. I understand that. You love to hug people. You love to give and receive hugs probably. And it feels good to you and it makes you feel loved and cared for perhaps. But a lot of people need time for a connection, for a friendship to develop before they want to share hugs. And giving hugs to just about everybody around you is not really the way to share your love. You have to understand that while from your perspective it is sharing love, it is seen as crossing a physical boundary by someone who might not want to be hugged. Okay? So this beautiful love that lives inside of you, that you want to pour into someone else in a hug, with a hug, this is something that needs to be balanced really well. So it requires you to consider whether or not someone else would want that love outpour of yours. And this is how you actually learn how to use your gift of affection and the love that lives inside of you. You're not just going to throw it onto random people who don't even want it, but you learn to respect other people's preferences. You become a considerate and a mature and a respectful human being, and you can go ahead and hug your other huggers who will be delighted to receive your hugs, while being fully respectful to the ones who don't wish to get your hugs. It is also a good practice for you because often, I know from my experience, I can tell when someone is desperate for a hug because they have something in them, some kind of despair or pain that they're going through, and they're often unconscious of that. And they want to go into a hug with just about anyone because it gives them a little bit of warmth and love. And you cannot use people to fill those inner voids that you have. Okay? And people can feel that, whether they are conscious of it or not. But we can feel if someone is needy and desperate, and we don't want to do that for them because often it might be a stranger. So I don't want to give my energy, my beautiful, pure, clean energy and my body to someone who I don't know just because I see that they carry some kind of pain within them and they're desperate for a hug. So that's not how it works. In these moments, it is much more helpful for everybody if we learn to find those places within ourselves, if we find that feeling that we're starved for physical touch, we're starved for hugs, and we just walk around, we just run through life and just expect random strangers to hug us, and we identify as huggers, I'm a hugger, please hug me. That's not how it works. That's not the meaning and the purpose of a hug. Because hugs are an extension of love, and they are supposed to happen between two individuals who know each other, who like each other, who have done something with each other perhaps that made them feel that overflow of love within their system. And that overflow of love will usually go out into a hug with another person. A hug should not be expected. It is not a social norm. We should not just walk into a room full of strangers who we've never met and just hug everybody. It is too much. It is crossing boundaries. It is disrespecting people's autonomy. And please, please do not be that person. It is very, very disrespectful and inconsiderate. And all the huggers will now come at me and scream at me that, yes, but I'm a hugger, I love to hug. And yes, that's fine. You can keep hugging your hugger friends. Everybody around you who identifies as a hugger as well is fine. Please continue to hug them as much as you like, as much as they like. But please remember that not everybody is like that, and not everybody wants some random stranger walking up to them and just throwing themselves at them. That's not what hugs are there for. And I would love for us as humanity to be just a little bit more considerate about other people's well-being, because we lack that in many, many situations. And whether you're surrounded by wealthy people, by poor people, by middle-class people, I see this phenomena all the time. And there is also another side of this hugger phenomena in our society that I see happening all the time, that there is this new expectation that we walk into a new circle, that we meet new people, and we're just supposed to hug each other. Where did that come from? It wasn't always like that. We used to shake hands. We used to not touch each other. We would just maybe put our hand on our own heart, or we would just greet them and put one hand in the air just to wave, give them a little wave. But where has that come from, that we're now expected to just hug each other? And then if someone doesn't want to, then that person is kind of the awkward one. No. Usually the ones who don't want to be touched are the ones who still have intact boundaries. And I see this with a lot of huggers, and I'm really sorry to break it to you, but that's my observation, that a lot of huggers have very, very poor boundaries, and they have a background in a family system where their own body autonomy was not respected. Okay, a lot of the not every hugger, but a lot of the huggers that I see come from a family where they were pushed to give hugs to people that they did like. Perhaps that was an uncle, a grandmother, perhaps it was their father, their own dad. And, you know, children are very, very clear, and they're very honest. And because they're showing us some dysfunction within our family systems, we cannot cope, we cannot deal with it, we don't want to deal with it. So we make the child wrong for having boundaries, for being very clear about who they want to touch and who they do not want to touch. And we cause a lot of issues within the child's development and well-being by doing so, by disrespecting their own body autonomy that they know very, very clearly from the moment they arrive onto this planet. The child is not wrong for not wanting to kiss or hug anyone, even if it's their own parents, their own grandparents, or their sibling. And we must never force them to give or receive physical touch if they do not wish so. These kids are going to grow into adults who have no discretion. They will walk around, they will just hug random people because that's what they learned. They did not learn, oh, the no that I feel in my gut is not to be trusted. I have to override that and ignore that and just go out into the world and hug people, even if I don't like them, even if they smell bad, even if there's something about them that feels off. I have to go out there and hug everybody. That's the people who become huggers. Not all of them. Not all of them. Some are genuine huggers. They love to hug and to receive hugs, and they are warm people. I have met many of them in South America. Some of them have become great friends of mine. It's not always black and white. It's not just this or that. There is nuance, okay? But I do see that many huggers have a background in this kind of family history where they were forced to hug people and then grow into adults who have no discretion, who don't know what is appropriate, what is inappropriate, and they will just hug random strangers who they have never met before. Okay, so me personally, I want to know you. I want to know you. I want to laugh with you. I want to do stuff with you. I want to go out with you. I want to go to the beach with you. And I need to know if I vibe with you, if I can trust you. And these things take time. And for me, it takes a very long time until I am comfortable and I get to a point where I feel I really like this person. And maybe I will touch their arm once in a conversation when they say something funny or when they say something that touches me, or not physically necessarily, and I just feel compelled to show my love, and my love will come out through my arm and my arm might go and touch theirs. Okay, so there are stages of getting to know someone, getting to like someone, and getting that feeling that this is someone I want to hang out again, this is someone I want to do more things with, and maybe one day something will happen, they will do something for you, and you will feel so moved that your love will pour out of you and you will go into a hug. So I would really love for us as a collective, as humanity, to be a little bit more considerate and think about that not everybody wants to be touched, and people have a right to not be touched without explanations, okay? And please also consider that a lot of people, many people carry trauma within their systems, and many people, an amount of people that we cannot even imagine, who have experienced abuse, physical violence in their families of origin or in their own homes with their partners. People who carry these wounds of physical violence, the last thing they want from you is being touched, okay? And you never know. You would never know. You meet people who look like the most pure and wonderful and great and healthy people, and they might be, yes, but still they carry that pain of some past trauma from physical violence, and you couldn't tell and you wouldn't know. So you have to be very, very mindful about who you're touching and how you're touching them, okay? So please don't just touch random strangers. Just leave them alone. Just be kind and be respectful and be a good human being. And if you're desperate for hugs, then that's something to work on. That's something to look at within yourself. There is absolutely zero shame around that. That's all very, very normal and very human aspects that we can work on, so that you can learn to fill that void that you feel within yourself with healthier things, rather than running after strangers and being desperate for their hugs. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. I loved talking about this. I do believe that this is a very important topic that is not talked about enough, and I would love if you could help me spread the word, share it with your friends, share it with everybody you know, share it with your hugger friends, so that we can create a more considerate world where people feel safe, where people don't have to be in that constant fight or flight state that many of us are, because we never know if there's a hugger around the corner who's going to jump us for a hug. I'm only half joking. This is literally how people feel on the inside, okay? So let's create a world where we can relax, where we can feel safe, where no one is going to touch each other without consent, or without checking in, or without asking. Yes, by the way, if you're unsure if someone is a hugger, you can always ask. You can simply use your words and ask someone. You can offer a hug. You can also learn to be more receptive of people's body language, because that's it. That's a subject for another time. But people will tell you everything with their body language, and it is usually very clear, even if they're going into the hug with you because they don't know that they could say no, they haven't learned how to express their boundary, or they just think it just happened so fast, I just didn't have time to even come up with some explanation or even saying no. The body will always tell you, and the body is always right, okay? No matter what kind of words come out of people's mouth, even if someone says, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I'll hug, okay, they might not want that hug, and their body will always tell you. That's something else we can work on, okay? So keep that in mind. Let's make this world a beautiful, considerate, safe place for all, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye-bye.